What's up, y'all? Twan Eagles 215 reporting back at y'all with another video. And if you're new and you never seen my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. This is another car video. So like I said, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you smash that like button. Get me to 10 likes. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, news is that we fired Wilson and Guntner. Wilson was our defensive line coach. Guntner was our wide receiver coach. Now, in my opinion, guys, I think they need to be fired. I think they needed to be. For one, because you got a defensive line with so much talent on it and didn't really produce. You got Michael Bennett. You got Fletcher Cox. You still had Haloti Ngata, and you had Brandon Graham. You had Chris Long. Like, each one of these guys should at least have 5 to 6 sacks, at least. Each. Not in total, each, as in one player. You know what I mean? Guys of those caliber, we already know what Michael Bennett did coming in here. You know what Fletcher Cox did. The guys of those caliber, or even the outside guys. Now, granted, one of our special young talents, Derek Barnett, was injured, but you still had guys like Chris Long. You know, those guys wasn't really being productive. That should have been the best defensive line in the game. In the game of football of the NFL. It's no way in the world you can't tell me those guys shouldn't have 5 to 6 sacks at least. Which Michael Bennett probably led the team. And I know Fletcher Cox is getting double teamed, but people like Chris Long and Graham, those guys should have had a blowout season. I mean, you guys go get Michael Bennett. He had like, what, 8 sacks last year, 7, 8, whatever. Me playing with the numbers off the top of my head. Like, the guy was averaging, you know, all them sacks a year, and he's duo with one of the best guys. That's it. That kind of puzzles me why these guys shouldn't be leading the league in sacks. Yeah, you got Sue and Donald over there, but you got still Chris Long. You still got Brandon Graham. Guys of those caliber on the DN. And it's like, come on, man. Like, you still had Tim Jernigan coming back. I mean, he came back late, but still, like, you know, you had a lot of guys that were basically Pro Bowl caliber guys, man. And it's like they really didn't produce. That D-line didn't produce. I mean, I can understand this may be built to stop the run. That's understandable. But, guys, at the end of the day, those guys weren't producing like they could have been and should have been. So, with that being said, you know, Wilson had to go for the defensive line, man. And you know, moving on to our wide receiver coach. Our wide receivers didn't produce nowhere near what they did last year. They did good. You can blame it on anything you want. You could blame it on the throw in of the quarterback, the play of the quarterback. You can blame it on anything you want. But at the end of the day, guys, you got to look at it. These guys were a premier talent last year. That wide receiver core was scary. It was scary. And see, now it's like we're not really, you know, even with guys going down, it's just a lot of stuff with the routes and different little things that we were not doing last year as a wide receiver group that we should have been doing this year. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's like, you know, the wide receivers didn't step up with certain things, you know what I mean? I mean, as far as them getting space, and it was a lot of things that this guy, we thought that could come in and really excel these receivers, they took a decline, a big decline, and I feel like, getting somebody new in there, you can revamp everybody. You got people like Matt Hollins been hurt all year. And even jumping back onto the other guy, you got guys that's, Matt Hollins, then you got Derek Barnett. These guys been injured all year. You know what I mean? And maybe it's not their fault, but what's going on, the reason why these guys are not playing. You know what I mean? And maybe it's the medical staff, or maybe it's this, who knows? But at the end of the day, those guys were not very productive. Aguilar wasn't really productive as last year. Alshon was halfway productive. It's like, we needed to be on one accord with this. I understand it's a new offensive coordinator and you got a new wide receiver coach, but at the end of the day, it's like those guys should be really, really excelling. But what this shows for our Eagles team and its coaching staff and the Philadelphia organization as a whole is they mean business. This is not a joyride for them. These guys mean business. They want that other championship. They want to get back to where they're in that Super Bowl again. They want to make it back. So with that being said, guys, you just have to look at all the things that, as far as the coaching staff and the players. We have to get them on one accord, and the best way to do it is start with the coaches. The coaches have to be able to coach these players to where they are excelling and not just being steady and not, progressing in what they're doing. You know what I mean? And like I said, at the end of the day, to me, the wide receivers took a little step back. You know what I mean? And we could have did a whole lot better. But I just think that some of the, some things were just not right. You know what I mean? And I feel like, bringing in the wide receiver coach and really, really bringing in the defensive line is going to help, because you got those kind of guys, man, and you can't really say, well, hey, they can't this and they can't that, or, things of that nature, man. Those guys should be ready at all times. And our wide receiver guys are just, they should have, we should have had one of the best wide receiving cores coming in. I thought we did. Adding Mike Wallace, that's just like crazy. You got Aguilar. Then you brought back Matthews. Then you still got Jeffries. Like, these guys are not just slouches. These guys are pretty good wide receivers and can start for any team. So it's like, I feel that those were good fires because both of the cores should have been a little bit better, a whole lot better. So, guys, that's my opinion about it. And you know how I say, make sure you leave yours down in the comment box. And I appreciate it. This is Twan Eagles 215.